Adversity quotient, turning obstacles into opportunities, stole straws and surprising new developments in brain research. First, the bad news, no matter how successful you get, you will always meet with adversity. Now the good news, you can instantly learn new habits that will make you better at responding to events, increasing what he calls adversity quotient. This is another good book, Adversity Quotient. And this is guaranteed to make you much more successful. We all find adversity, and remember, it's how we deal with it. Stoltz, PhD, president of CEO Peak Learning. I actually had lunch with this guy in Phoenix, Arizona. Flagstaff, Arizona, excuse me. A consulting firm in Flagstaff, Arizona says the entrepreneur's job is thriving on the edge, creating something new in pursuit of a high reward. You're under risk. You undergo high risk. It is an occupational hazard to meet setbacks, rejections, mistakes. According to Stoltz, the critical factor in your success will be surviving profit from adversity. Everybody knows how to manage in successful times. Not many people know how to manage in failure. Robert has never been turned down by a bank. He apparently he hasn't had any bad projects because they haven't been turned down by the bank. And I've already beat him up about he's not pressing edges in the envelope. I mean, nobody goes through a career like that. I mean, nobody that amounts to anything big, for sure. You've heard about the Savary. We've talked about Donald Trump. All these guys have failed, had projects go bankrupt, gone bankrupt, come back, risen like the phoenix from the ashes. And it wasn't because they went out of their way to find mistakes, because you can't succeed in any meaningful way without taking risk, and your risk, sometimes you're going to be wrong. It's that simple. It's going to be like volcanic ash. And again, even though they opened up the airlines, they closed them down again. The best strategy is to put an employee in a situation where he has just enough knowledge and expertise to handle a task and no more. He'll get stronger as a result. There's a guideline for how much latitude you should give a subordinate in making decisions. Any decision above the waterline your people can make. Worst case, you'll blow a hole in the hull, which can be repaired. Below the waterline, where you can sink the ship, the decision we make together. Your employees shouldn't have to bear the responsibility. I will allow a board or a mentee to do things as long as it's not going to blow us up, because I want us to act as a cohesive unit. I want us to get comfortable with each other, our decision-making processes. Even though it might be a mistake, a minor mistake, you learn better from minor mistakes than from successes. But if it's going to blow a hole in the fucking below the waterline and sink us, I'll take the board off individually and tell them, have a quiet British word with them, and tell them that my experience is such and such, and I wouldn't do it this way, and I'd appreciate your support in this matter. Now I could force it down their throat, but that's not what I do. I always say I would appreciate your support in this matter, and those are very telling words. They appreciate those words, coming especially from me. Coming from Bjorn, they might not appreciate it so much because we weren't going to support you anyway. You fuck. So I mean, you asking me nicely doesn't mean a goddamn bit of difference. But for me asking him, and especially asking him privately, I've never had a board meeting where I asked for a vote that I didn't already know the answer. Absolutely critical. Because you lose one vote of confidence, and it's not even a vote of confidence that you plan, but a vote of confidence, it's very difficult to take control of the board again. So I never ask a vote before I know, how they're going to vote. Never. I learned that from Jerry Orman many years ago. I mean, I don't want to battle it out. The boardroom, contrary to what you read in the movies, isn't the battle it out for decisions. No. The battle, the result of a board meeting should be one foot, one face forward, one decision, one direction. All the skirmishes should be done outside the board, not minuted. Because when you go to court, they'll say, is it true, Stefan, that according to the minutes, you were not in agreement with Bjorn on XYZ, yet you were brought around after much pressure They add the word too much pressure. That's not what the minutes say. After much pressure by Bjorn and Michael and the Impaler to go along their ways. And yet, as a solicitor in Wales, England, yeah.
After due and careful consideration of all topics, we came to the joint conclusion that we would support our chairman.
Yeah, okay.
And go sing together.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. That's right.
What was the sentence again? Was it appreciate the words? When
Oh, God. I'd appreciate your support on this matter.
yes.
I'm surprised you didn't ask that, Impaler. Okay.
Well, I'm also interested in the court action.
You're not court action. We're not.
Did he sign that it's not his
Yes, you did.
what
Yeah.
you're telling us?
Formal education, you'll make a living. Self-education, you make a fortune. That's what we're talking about. Ace Greenberg, the former friend of mine, not former friend, a friend of mine, former chairman of Bear Stearns. He said, well, we want to hire PSDs, which is poor, smart, and with a deep desire to become rich. You know, that's what we want, PSDs.
Question is how rich is for somebody from a poor background. That can vary immensely.
Yes, it can. Okay. How much money do you think is being... Oh, no, before... Write on a piece of paper in front of you. Take a piece of paper in front of you and write how much money you think is being rich for you. For you.
I'm rich.
Yeah, I know. How much money to you is rich? You know, 50,000 euros, 5 billion euros, 100 million euros, whatever. And Taylor, what are we waiting for?
A pen.
Fuck me. Okay, I'm gonna collect the pieces of paper, so.
Do you write the name as well?
Yeah, what's your name?
Can I have a piece of paper, please?
Okay.
How much?
Okay. 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 Before I 1 billion from one. Is that a 7 or a fucking 1? Is that 7 or a 1?
It's a 1.
It's a 1. That's a fucking 1. Looks like a limp dick. Okay. Okay, 1.
1 what?
No, 1 billion. That's a billion, right?
That's a billion, yeah.
Okay. Is that Michael?
Yeah.
What's that say? 5 million?
5 million.
Okay. The Impaler, 1 billion. Bjorn, 1 billion. Less.
100 million, but at least 10 million in liquid.
Okay, 100 million and less 10, at least 10 million clean liquid. That's 500,000, right?
500 million.
Byron. No.
No, that's beyond. That's my one.
Oh,
500 million.
Yours was a billion.
Yeah.
Okay. 500 million. Okay. So we got 5 million to a billion. Okay. Now, let's start with the billionaire guys. Do you know personally any billionaires? Have you, do you talk?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, you talk.
Okay. Shoot the shit with,
I know 3.
Okay. I'm asking, you didn't ask for the band. I'm only asking the billionaire guys. The one that billionaire. Okay. Okay. So you know a billionaire. You talk to him. Do you know a billionaire? No, you're 500 million, right? Okay.
I've seen Mr. Trump.
Oh no, you've seen. Well, I've seen the Queen of England.
Like his distance.
Okay, but have you talked to him?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Okay. The guy, 5 million. You know somebody with 5 million?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you do. Huh? Yes. Do you know somebody with $5 million? 5 million euros?
Mhm.
Okay, well that's not too hard. 5 million euros. Okay, and so one of you you're 500 million, 500,000,
500 million.
500 million. Excuse me. Do you know anybody? I mean, that you talk to that's got 500 million
If
euros?
300 million counts, then yes.
Well, 300 million doesn't count. 500 million counts.
No.
Okay, okay. And you know people with 100 million, and because if you know people with $1 billion, you know people. Okay. Now, have the guys that know the billionaires, have anybody discussed a deal with a billionaire? Doing a deal.
I discussed becoming his mentee.
Mentee, okay. That's not doing a deal, but that's okay. That's
Okay.
okay.
I've done 2 transactions and I've discussed the third transaction which did not go through.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's a big deal. There's a huge quantum leap. Stefan is closer because he's done business with him. But there's a huge quantum leap between writing the money down on a piece of paper and becoming it, one, and two, the understanding what it takes and the commitment to be a billionaire in this case, and actually being a billionaire. Ken Langone is a billionaire who's one of the founders of Home Depot, and I have a mutual friend named Bob Donato, and we were at a dinner about a year ago. And I'm sitting at the table with Ken Langone, and Ken Langone has donated hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and they've got hospitals and bridges and shit named after him. He's exactly 10 years older than I am. And we're sitting there and I'm talking to him. We're at the Bel Air Country Club. And he said, well, I hear Bob tells me you moved to the Philippines. I said, yeah, I live in Manila. I really like it. I'm trying to cut back a little. I'm spending less time working. And he goes, why? And I said, oh, I haven't found any excitement. This is before I decided to go to China. This was October 2008. And he said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I can still get up and I look over my investments, etc. And he said, I'm 74 years old, or 73, I guess he was then. 73 years old. I still work 70, 80 hours a week. I still travel 10. Of course, he's got his own plane. He travels $15,000-$20,000 miles a month. I overlook my 3 trusts and the hospital and the various other things. Plus, I'm still a board member of Home Depot. And he says, "Why in the fuck do you want to cut back? Cut back, and it'll kill you, Dan. It'll kill you." And then at the charity auction that next night we all went to. We're donating money for ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, when your immune system and your muscles and everything all stop working. And I paid $6,000 for a pair of sunglasses, design sunglasses. Sally wound up not wanting, but anyway. Plus, I bought a bunch of other shit. And and he stands up, and he says, and they say I'm crazy, and they said, I would no more pay $600 for a pair of sunglasses than $6,000, and plus he wants to retire, and it really got me thinking. And I didn't say I was retiring; I said I was cutting back, and and so interfacing with guys that have $1 billion, unless they inherited it, and there's a lot of billionaires that inherited it, and some of the billionaires that you guys have talked to or seen inherited it. Donald Trump made most of his money. Although he started, I believe, with $20 million, which is a nice start in life, 35, 40 years ago when he had it. There's a huge quantum difference in understanding what it takes to make and to spend. Stefan's goal for $100 million and $10 million liquid is more realistic, especially since he has dealt in $1 million transactions. And I don't think I'm giving away any information because it's probably public information because of the public company you're involved with in Switzerland, which is a $1 billion billion euro fund. And so he understands, he's more in line or in tune with the thinking of what it takes to make that kind of money. And that's maybe why his goals, I won't say are more realistic, are more pragmatic. Because for you to go out and you say, you want to make $1 billion or $500 million, and then you get 2 or 3 years into this and you made $500,000 or $1 million, it's easy to get disappointed. And one of the things that you need to do is how are you going to make the billion? How are you going to make the 500 million? And because if you have a real plan, I had a plan how to make it, and mine wasn't as concrete as make it 2 billion. I wanted to run a $2 billion company.